It's early morning in Israel. Around 6 a.m., fighter jets begin taking off. Each one carries long-range precision missiles. Their destination is Tehran, the capital of Iran. According to intelligence sources, some of the most powerful people in Iran's government are meeting inside a heavily guarded compound. 2 hours later, missiles strike the building. Within seconds, the entire region is pushed closer to a full-scale war. This is a look at how tensions between the United States, Israel, and Iran reached this point, and what could happen next. The conflict between these countries did not begin recently. For decades, the relationship between Iran, Israel, and the United States has been shaped by distrust, ideology, and power. Before 1979, Iran was ruled by a monarch known as the Shah. He maintained close relations with the United States and the West. But everything changed during the Iranian Revolution. The Shah was overthrown. A new government took power, led by religious leaders who wanted to transform Iran into an Islamic republic. The new leadership rejected Western influence. From that moment forward, tensions between these countries would define much of Middle Eastern politics. One issue in particular became the center of the conflict: Iran's nuclear program. In 2002, secret nuclear facilities inside Iran were discovered. Iran insisted its program was peaceful, but the United States and Israel feared something different. They worried Iran might eventually build nuclear weapons. Over the years, both countries tried to stop Iran's nuclear progress, sometimes through diplomacy, sometimes through cyber attacks, and sometimes through covert operations. In 2015, negotiations finally produced a major agreement. Iran agreed to limit its nuclear program. In return, international sanctions would be reduced. Supporters believed the deal could prevent a nuclear crisis. But the agreement didn't last. In 2018, the United States withdrew from the deal. Tensions quickly began rising again. Sanctions returned, diplomatic relations collapsed, and the region slowly moved closer to confrontation. Years later, tensions reached a breaking point. Military operations began targeting strategic locations inside Iran. Some of these attacks focused on nuclear facilities. Others targeted military infrastructure. Air defenses were destroyed. Missile systems were hit. Within hours, the situation escalated rapidly. Iran responded with missile strikes of its own. Across the region, alarms began sounding. Missiles were launched toward Israel and several U.S. allied countries. Air defense systems tried to intercept them, but the conflict was already spreading beyond a single battlefield. Soon, the confrontation involved multiple countries across the Middle East. Military bases were targeted. Shipping lanes became dangerous. Airports were forced to shut down. Some attacks caused destruction far away from the original strike. In the opening strike alone, several senior Iranian officials were reportedly killed inside the government compound. Among them were top military commanders and national security figures who had gathered for the meeting. Within seconds, much of Iran's senior leadership structure had been shaken. Even countries not directly involved began preparing for escalation. Oil markets reacted immediately. Energy prices surged. Experts warned the conflict could trigger a global economic crisis. Inside the United States and around the world, the attacks sparked major political debates. Supporters argued that the strikes were necessary to prevent future threats. Critics argued that attacking another country without immediate danger could violate international law. This raised a difficult question. Was this war unavoidable, or was it a choice? Preventive wars are controversial, because if every country attacked its rivals when they appeared weak, the world could quickly fall into constant conflict. Right now, the situation remains unpredictable. Military strikes continue, political leaders make new threats, and the risk of escalation remains high. History shows that conflicts like this rarely end quickly. Once a war begins, it becomes incredibly difficult to control. The tensions between Iran, Israel, and the United States have been building for decades. One decision, one strike, or one miscalculation could reshape the entire region. And as the world watches events unfold, one question remains: is this the beginning of a larger war, or the moment when diplomacy finally returns?